So, Paul, what's your story? Where did you start out? How did you end up here at Sauder?
So, I've had a few careers, and I think students today, one of the exciting things is they'll have many careers. So I started off in an advertising agency long before digital existed, and then I went client side for 10 years, and I was hiring agencies for advertising, packaging, etc. And then kind of in the first dot-com boom in the late 90s, all that time ago, I designed a course in digital marketing because there wasn't one, and I got to teach it around a bunch of schools, and I started teaching at Sauder in 2001, and I've redesigned this digital marketing course about 25 times since, because it keeps changing, which is exciting.
That's great, and I know that you're starting a really new course completely. That's something other universities don't really have yet at Sauder, at UBC. Can you tell us a little bit more about that one?
Sure. So when you look at the digital marketing courses, even a few years ago, social media didn't exist, and we still had digital courses. And so in the last 4 or 5 years, I've injected a small and then a larger amount of social media in my digital marketing courses, but it's still a subset. And social's become so important, I felt that it needed its own course in addition to being a subset of the introductory digital course. And I thought it was something that we needed to collaborate on beyond the business school. And so I looked for partners around the university, and the logical partner for me was journalism. And so I'm really excited that we were able to get a grant, a teaching and learning grant from UBC, which is student funded, and that's allowed us to develop a course between the undergraduate program at Sauder and the Graduate School of Journalism here. So Alf Hermida, who is the director of the journalism school, and myself, we're going to co-run this, and the intent is to give students more than just conceptual knowledge, but really hands-on knowledge and access to some of the tools that they wouldn't otherwise have for free.
How large is the class?
Class is going to be capped at 40 in the first year. It'll start January 2013, and we'll take 20 students from commerce and 20 from journalism, and they're going to be paired together.
That's fantastic. What are the latest, most exciting trends in e-business? What should students look into studying and learning about looking in the future?
I think the exciting things for me are not necessarily a particular tool or platform. I don't really care whether it's Instagram or Pinterest or whatever it may be. I think the exciting thing for students that really want to get involved in this field is the whole idea of rapid experimentation. You know, we talk about fail forward, kind of try A versus B and report back. So I think for people who expect to be able to lay out a big document, before you've laid out the document, I want to actually see the results of your tests, and I mean tests plural. So kind of an experimental mindset.
That's fantastic. What I think is if students in our club, which is all about digital, could learn just one thing or one skill before they graduate, what that skill should be.
I think students should learn how to become a community manager, and it involves more than one skill, but it's really like an umbrella heading. If I look at things that employers are seeking at the moment, they're saying could you be a community manager? So it means you have to be able to monitor and then make recommendations on how to respond, whether it's a crisis or whether it's an opportunity. So think about community management, which means listening broadly across multiple platforms. A single platform is too narrow for you to be hired.
Right, I really like that. What's the best business book you've ever read? What's the must read for any student?
So I think these questions, favorite film, favorite food, favorite business book, are kind of quite challenging. I mean, I read many books every year. So I'm going to name a couple. Read Grouped by Paul Adams. It's a really small book. It just came out earlier this year, and Paul Adams worked on the G+ Circles project at Google and is now at Facebook. So that's a really good book. I think I would also recommend that you look at Brian Solis's book, The End of Business as Usual.
Right. What websites do you visit daily?
Well, I tend to use a series of RSS feeds and aggregators just because there are so many things that I want to look at, but I find myself going a lot to eMarketer, Advertising Age's digital edition, IAB, which is Interactive Advertising Bureau, and so these tend to be syndicated and pull in a whole bunch of digital stories. But if you were to look at who I follow on Twitter, then you'll see that mainly they're actually they're news sites, and they're mainly around digital. Although occasionally you'll get some of my quirky interests.
Last question. A lot of members are looking to start their own company, start their own businesses when they graduate or even in school. Do you have any advice for future entrepreneurs who want to embrace the whole digital space? What should they do?
Sure. So get out there and meet people. There are many recent alumni and not so recent alumni within the Vancouver business community who are delighted to help current students who are hungry to learn. Some of the events that are currently being run out of at UBC or coordinated there, such as Spark and Lean 101 Startup, are great places to meet similar people, and going and maybe volunteering to work with them will give you a real appetite for what you need to do yourself.
Right, thanks a lot.